Yo, what up, what up? Peace and blessings, man. Gerald Hassan, these children, Enlightening Minds Enterprise. I just want to take a moment to speak to you about karma. I've had a few conversations where people like to think about karma or the reaping and sowing as a thing to where you basically get back exactly what you put out, right? And from my study and my observation, I want to say this here is that karma don't necessarily work like that. You don't just actually get exactly back what you put out. But in regards to the type of damage you may have caused, or the type of harm you may have caused, or better yet, the type of imbalance that you have tilted into the universe, then the universe has to balance itself out with you. So, for those of us who prescribe to some type of scriptures, like divine scriptures, or like the Bible, the Quran or the Torah, um, for anyone who subscribes to anything that they consider that God sent you, as a guidance to how to get your life under control and so on and so forth. In that you have to understand that there's a balance in it. What it's really designed to do is to help the human being find balance within himself or herself. And so, I can't remember the term I had really meant to look it up, so forgive me for not looking it up. But I remember my sister one time, I was explaining, talking to her about this balance idea, this balance concept. And I was telling her in Islam, the Quran talk about a particular balance that Allah has established in the universe, and this scale that He established in the universe is designed something like the way the balance that in your body. And see, my sister, she's in medicine, she's in the whole medical field, so she told me there's a technical term in medicine that is used to describe the balance that doctors look for in the human body. And there's a balance in the human body, kind of like the balance of your temperature, your body temperature, like being, I think, 98 or something like that. Anytime that balance is off, anytime that temperature is either too high or too low, then something is wrong. And so on and so forth for many other things. When they go do your lab, they say, I don't know how to tell what's going on when you try to do your lab. And so your lab reveals what's out of balance, and so naturally your body is designed to survive. So your body fights to balance itself back out, but according to the way we eat and so on and so forth, it doesn't have what's necessary to fight off certain things. It doesn't have the strength, or it doesn't have the capability. It doesn't have the development. It hasn't been developed in a way, in regards to its nourishment to be able to fight off certain things that we take in. So anyway, but we go through certain things. That defines how things are trying to balance out. I remember one time I heard Mr. Farrakhan speak about how the universe, regards to the storms, the hurricanes, and so on, stuff like that. That is the universe's like immune system. That is the universe's way of trying to balance itself out because of all of the things that human being put into our world that sets it off balance, in a sense. How we got the seasons that's not right. How we seem to have in the winter, every year, how the winter seems to be hot. It's not as cold as it was last year. Or in some areas, how the winter is worse. It's not like it's getting worse and worse and worse. The snow is getting higher, and so on and so forth, right? So my point is about balance. That everything has a balance to it, right? And that even when you think about sin itself is an act that is done at the wrong time, the wrong way, and basically out of prescription. A sin is something that a natural inclination that the human being has, whether it be for sex, whether it be for gratification, whether it be for pleasure, whatever it is. It is the pursuit of that, it is the attainment of that out of prescription. And out of prescription, in maybe in one school of thought, it can be against the law. It is a sin. It is an error. It is against the policy. You know what I'm saying? But when we think about karma is basically just the balancing out of that law. It is a natural thing set into motion where it is designed to balance things out. So anytime we do things that offset something, it the universe within itself will send things back around in our lives to help balance it out. So when we look at all of the things that we call, man, it's a bad day. I remember I heard Les Brown say, no such thing as a bad day. We have challenging days. Some days are more challenging than others. And another thing is that, there are vicissitudes of life. There are some things that are naturally set into place in divine order to help develop us. Like, even when you think about grass, grass has weeds that tries to keep weeds trying to survive, so it takes from from other plants, right? And the plant is designed to fight against that. So everything has a natural enemy. Everything has a natural thing that goes against your own development. And so those are the natural vicissitudes of life. But then there are things that we do that adds on to the burden of our development or our path or our desire to be happy. There are things that we do that makes it even harder. You know what I'm saying? That makes it even worse. So whenever we do something to offset the balance of things, to offset the natural flow of things, whenever we do something like that, then the universe has been divinely commanded to balance things out. So if you ever read James Allen book about As a Man Thinketh or As a Woman Thinketh, James Allen, if you haven't, check it out. It's a must read. It's a book. Man, I've read it probably like 8 times. I have to get it again. But this book talks one thing in here. I'm going to point out what I'm saying right now, is that he says in the book that human vanity makes a person think that they get bad for good. That when we do something, I can't do good for nobody. I'm always getting bad in return. The thing is that life is flipping things back around. Like when you think something, not everything is a bad, it's a perception, but when you are being punished for something, it's because you have planted a seed somewhere in the universe, and it has finally harvested. And a lot of it we don't even really, might not even be conscious of. But however we done it, and the intent behind it may be in one thing, but however, whatever was produced by our hands, we still have to deal with. In the Quran, we have the law of equality, where if someone hits me in the eye, I can hit them back. If you take my life, I can take yours, so on and so forth. It's just the law of equality, right? But beyond that point is that even though we have the law of equality, there's also a part in it where it says that an individual is best to let God handle it. You know what I'm saying? Even though someone hits you, I don't hit them back. Just let God handle it. Even though someone may kill somebody in your family, don't kill them. Let God handle it. Because He is the best to handle out justice. And justice is exact measure. Justice is when something is done in exact measure. When something, if you take $5 from me, I go and take exactly $5 from you back. That is justice. I gave you $5, you give me $5 back. That is justice. But in regards to, like, if you hit someone, you don't know how it may affect that person, what kind of damage you may cause to that person, and how it may affect that person's kids or family or that person's work life or so on and so forth. And so it's no way to determine how much damage you may cause in return, in a person's life when you try to seek justice on your own. So anyway, my point is this here, is that we have to kind of get out of the thinking that we get bad for good, that there will always be a balance in the thing, and that we have to just really be able to fix ourselves in a way that we embrace everything that happens. We can embrace, the good and the bad, because it is a mercy. It's designed to still make us better. Even like a whooping, when we whoop our kids for doing something wrong, it's a punishment, but also it's designed to get you to do better, to get you to be better, to pull out of you what I know is in you. So my whole point again is about karma, and basically we are looking at it from the point of I know I've done some wrong. I know I've cheated on some people. I know I've hurt some people. I know I've lied to some people. So I look for it to come back to me. Well, it might not necessarily come back in the way that you think, though. And we have to be in a position where we're humble enough to recognize it when we see it, to recognize it when it's in our face, to recognize it when it's in our life, to recognize it when it's there. And we really typically, when we find ourselves repeating certain things and certain things continue to happen, is because we hadn't recognized it, and we haven't passed the test. We haven't accepted right, and we continue to commit certain acts that we shouldn't commit. And so, I mean, that's really my whole point. Today, Sunday, fun day. I hope everybody's able to enjoy it today. Sunday is a very relaxing day. It's a day that I kind of knock out some things that I wasn't able to knock out and take care of my errands. But, with all that being said, man, I hope that you all was able to get something out of it. Get into the comments. Let me know what you think. Talk back to me. Ask whatever question you need to ask. Put in whatever you need to put in. You know what I'm saying? And it's my boy right here pulling up. The big Stace, who I had on video the other day. I'm actually at his house right now. And I was waiting on him to get back. So I was just taking this time out to talk to you all. And, hey, peace and blessings again. Get at me. Sure, how Sunday, Church Enlightening Minds Enterprise.